Hi there, it's Robert Bruce Anderson again, and the next one I'm going to cover for you is still under the research banner, and this is craft market research. I'm going to cover craft markets and trade shows probably in one. And here's what this is: just research. Down the line, further on, when you get to marketing, I'm going to suggest that you actually book. Once you know which market suits your product the best, I'm going to suggest you actually book there. Okay. But for now, it's simply the benefit of seeing how strong the researching your list. Remember, back to your brainstorming list up here, that list of 20 items. Take that list and go to 2 or 3 craft markets over a weekend. Find a big trade show in your area if you can. Drive to it far if you think that the product you've got is more likely to sell on a trade show. And let's say perhaps office furniture would, that kind of thing. So give it a bit of thought, that you don't have to go into huge detail on these. It's a case of getting to see what's going on out there, okay? Remember, I'm going to have you search online in a million ways that will show you more accurately. But at the same time, there's nothing, it's actually not just nothing wrong with it. It's very important that you go and have a look at who is selling a similar product that you're thinking of selling on a local craft market. And I want to point out to you here is that I did that when I wanted to start my hammock business back in then. Wow, many years ago, 16 years ago. It's even more, my bad. Anyway, I went there, and here's the negative thought. I found nobody selling hammocks there. Well, 1 in 10 markets, and thought, cool, I'm going to clean up. I should have thought, wow, are there no hammock guys, 2 or 3 of them on every market? By the way, due to my efforts and other people that copied what I did, and some of my ideas that I copied similar products of my position, it wasn't long. Well, it was long. It was 10 years. But after 10 years, there were hammock guys on every single market. So we had kind of woken it up. Good for us, woohoo. But the reality is, sell what is selling. It's by far your best thing. If you go somewhere and there are people with dining room tables, 3 of them on each of the craft markets you go to, it will tell you that there is a market for it. And if you can make a better looking one with a better quality wood that looks stronger, etc., perhaps more economical, maybe with a different style that they've not covered. Let me just think. Give you an example, my bad. On our local craft market here, one of the biggest is the Irene market, which I haven't been to for a while, and they've moved venues, so I worry about them. They had a guy there, I'm thinking just of wooden furniture that I can think of at the top of my head. They had a lot of carved stuff because of the African curio market, and it's worth looking at, but I don't suggest you do it because of time constraints. They had tables. They had a guy who would make these beautiful pine-looking tables, very cottagey in style, and he used to carve a beautiful tile inlaid into where each place setting was, so that you had these kind of permanent place settings set up on the table with a tile. And there might have even been a hand-done tile, meaning, unique, not bought from the local tile dealer. There was another guy who had white lime-washed benches and tables that were all matched, and they were more like patio tables, not dining room tables. So if you can see what I'm saying, there were things there that were working. And those 2 guys, by the way, especially the guy with the tile inlays, he's been there 15, 20 years. He's still there. So it tells you that he's hit onto a market, and I suspect that he's making, from just word of mouth, he's more than busy enough. And he managed to start it with my shortcut method, which is what I told you not to do, right? So, long story short, let's keep this one short. Go to the craft markets, take your list, walk around, get ideas. Further on, I'm going to tell you to combine that with shopping mall research and magazine research. So for now, it's simply just craft market research. You want to go and see who's doing what and if there's a gap, and be careful if they're not there, like I did with my hammocks, because maybe it's not the place. In other words, you don't want to go there with the most expensive leather and hardwood furniture that's way out of pocket of most people. But do that if it's got some unique crafty feel to it, where you're adding wrought iron or you're adding stained glass, where it's something that they will not be able to find in a shopping mall. I always have punted that idea. Same as my somewhere in one of my, in fact, on my Facebook page, the Things to Make and Sell group. I think I've got the door business idea there, where you do custom-made doors. You see, most businesses don't want to have the pain and aggravation of custom making things. Now, you don't need to custom make it to the client's specs. You just custom make it in design and then offer those designs as pre-done ones. And if people come along and say, wow, that's beautiful, now I want one like this, can you make it more blue, pinker, and stretch it 3 meters? Then you make the price so high that they're happy to buy the one that you had done. Or you do custom ones. You get where I'm going. And now all of that will work on craft markets. Okay. Now, something else that I'm going to tell you about craft markets down the line, I want to bring it up now in case I forget, is that a craft market is the perfect place once you've got your product and selling it to test out new ideas. So let's say you're making these dining room tables or patio table sets, and you try the tile inlays and it works. Then try one with a stained glass inlay. Try one with a stained glass and tile and wrought iron inlays. Wow, I'm not sure about that, but you get what I'm saying. If people come along and say, oh, this is so beautiful, I want one now. Let me explain an example. When I made my hammock chairs had pole furniture. Now we're talking about ordinary blue gum poles, common pole furniture. Every now and again now I'd search all the time, and one time I used an apricot tree poles. They curved in the weirdest way, and they were hardwood. I worked very hard to make that thing, and I still wondered if anybody would buy it because it curved strange. But I duplicated the curve and I got it to match, and I was very proud of it. And when I hung it up that day on my market, I went out there and I was still hanging it up, and a guy was running to me. And I still thought, whoa, and I looked left, right, and wondered where he was going in such a rush. And he skidded to a stop in front of me and said, I want that, it's mine. I'm buying it. How much is it? So, foolishly, I sold it to him at a normal chair price. I should have doubled it, and he probably would have paid. So, my point is, sometimes unique stuff works, and other times where I did hand-painted things and added, I got no idea, fairies onto chairs, that didn't work. And I ended up with a fairy chair in my house forever. So use the craft market to research, once you're on it, to research your product even more. But in the beginning, use it to find your core product that will be your main seller that you will sell from your market. Cool. Next video will be magazine research. After this, thank you. Cheers.